You can always count on Albania to put us all into the holiday spirits. It wouldn't be the same without Fikmas. You know what I'm talking about. Let's talk Albania. Let's talk Eurovision. What's up, you fools? Matt, ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel, and yes, the very first national final took place tonight. Well, it's technically not a real national final because FESTIVALI I KÖNGÖS existed before they were even in Eurovision, but that's a different story. Let's just call the first selection show of the 2020 season has come to an end. We have the very first winner and the very first song picked for the Eurovision Song Contest 2020 in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. The annual national final show in Albania called FESTIVALI I KÖNGÖS. It took place over 3 nights with 2 semis and 1 grand final. Initially, we had 20 songs competing, then they were whittled down to 12 songs in the grand final, and we have a winner, of course, at the end, and I will talk about that in just a second. And we had a bunch of guest stars as well performing, and we'll talk about that as well. But let's delve right into the results and then talk about the details. How does that sound? So, as said, we had a very long show with 12 songs, a bunch of interval acts, and a gazillion Albanian commercials. So after a long show, finally, Krista Bjorkman took the stage to reveal the results. In case you're wondering, this was a jury results. There were no televotes or anything. It was decided by a handful, I think, was it 3? I even forgot the number of jurors that would decide the outcome. So they announced the top 3 from 3rd to 1st place, and ultimately we have a winner. And the winner is Arilena Ara with Shaj. So that means she was crowned the winner in Albania, therefore gets to represent her country at Eurovision next year in Rotterdam. Congratulations. Of course, it's very well deserved because you won. That's how the cookie crumbles. Now let's talk about all the other stuff. Keep in mind, she also said in her post-show interview, I want to point that out, that Shaj will be performed in English at the contest and it will be called Curse. Now, as pointed out, the juries had the say in this and they announced the top 3. They put Elvana Gjata with Tana in 2nd place and then Sara, Bajraktari, I think, with Ajër in 3rd place. So the rest of the songs, we don't know yet exactly the ranking, whether or not we get the whole thing. We remains to be seen, I don't think so. But these are your top, not your top 3, but the jury's top 3 in Albania. Let's talk about this. So first of all, from me also a big congratulations to Arilena. Very well deserved in my view, but let's talk about the big elephant in the room. And it is probably a big angry elephant, as Elvana Gjata was the clear fan favorite to win this whole darn thing. Now keep in mind, Elvana is huge in Albania. She's like a megastar and in other countries as well. Like she is known. She is known, and the moment the artists were revealed, everyone was saying, it's got to be Elvana. It's got to be Elvana. And then her song was released, Tana, and everyone was like, it's got to be Elvana. It's got to be Elvana. And the fans were so passionate about her, and everyone thought, well, this may happen, right? But one thing we keep forgetting about it, this show was not decided by the televoters at all. There was just a small number of people in the jury who decided the outcome, and ultimately Krista Bjorkman was one of them. Now don't blame him or give him all the credit, whatever, he's just one person, right? He just happened to be the spokesman. But yes, Elvana was announced, it was not announced, when she was announced as the 2nd place candidate, there was of course a huge uproar online. People were so upset. If you go to Krista Bjorkman's Instagram page, you can already see a good amount of comments being very unhappy about the results, saying that his vote was bought and it was rigged and all of that stuff. But hear me out. I love Elvana's song, actually. It was one of my favorites this year. In my original reaction video, I put it in my 2nd place, actually. And I pointed out the things that I think were lacking today to me is it's a great song, a banger. It sounds like a demo version, which is fairly common. in Albania, but it's very difficult for a modern song to really leave a big impact unless you have the full, complete product. And I wish there would have been more oomph in the performance. Not saying that would have been enough to actually win the whole thing, but I did enjoy the studio version more overall. But the staging itself was fantastic and she sounded great. And keep in mind, people are very upset because she didn't win. But a second place out of 20 is fantastic. You cannot complain about that. I mean, I guess you can because there is a lot of complaining going on. But you get my point, right? And it is true, when you listen to Elvana's song, you just knew that this would not get... I didn't even think, I mean, there was a possibility that this may not even finish in second place because it's not necessarily a jury magnet. Do you know what I mean? Even like Eleni Ferreira was not necessarily like the biggest hit with the juries. It's a televote-friendly song, and we didn't have any televoters this year, and that kind of hurt her, I guess, a chance. If we had that, she probably would have won. So I feel bad for all the fans. They were so excited and passionate about it, but Elvana is fantastic regardless, and I'm glad that she was in Festivali I KÖNGÖS, and I hope she'll be back in the future, because she is definitely talented, and her time will come. But as far as Arilena Ara is concerned, I think she just sang it beautifully. When I did my original video, I think I put her in like my 4th place. It's all about the chorus for me. It is so heart-wrenching when she sings it. And it's, oh, it makes my heart bleed. She sings it so well. And she's so likable. I was actually quite surprised when I watched Festivali I KÖNGÖS after she performed. She was the 6th act to perform that night, I believe. The audience went crazy. It was so touching to just keep shouting her name. I did not expect that she would get so much love. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great song, it's a great singer, but that was touching, and you could see it in her face as well. It was a very beautiful moment, and you can't complain. You have to be happy for her. And keep in mind, I don't think this is necessarily the biggest shocker. Like, my jaw did not drop because it was one of the favorites as well. I think it was the second favorite. I mean, after Elvana, it was the favorite. People just didn't think anyone would be able to catch up to Metana. And ultimately, Arilena's song just is way more jury friendly. I knew when I heard it, I'm like, this is gonna wow the juries. The vocals, the arrangement, it just works really well. Kind of what I said for Metana as well, and it's usually very often the case in Albania. The song needs a little bit of a revamp, and by that I mean just add more instruments. It was mostly just a piano and then some drums, all that stuff, but they need to make it even more pleasing to the ears. When I hear it, I need some strings, you know, just, yeah, as with it, it's gonna add another layer that I would just really appreciate. Now, what I don't want, that happens quite a bit in Albania in the past, that they just completely rearranged the song, and besides the melody, you don't even recognize the song anymore. Remember 2014 or 2016? It was just like a completely different song, and I don't want that. I think the vibe and the feel of the song are correct. We just need to add a little bit more sound to it. I said strings and maybe just a few more other things, and I think we have something here. We have something here, my friends. Now, a lot of people, as you just heard, she said in her interview that the song will be translated from Shaj, it will be curse, like I curse you. And I put that on Twitter. A lot of people were not happy. Immediately a huge backlash. Well, I want to give it like 12 points. No, I'm giving it 0. I'm like, relax. Relax, relax. And there are a few things we need to point out here. Shaj was initially written in English, actually, they're saying. Like, the song was written with English lyrics, and they had a hard time, actually, translating it into Albanian for Festivali I KÖNGÖS, right? So now that they have won, they want to go back to the original version so they can use that. So I mean, I haven't heard it yet in English, so I have to withhold the judgment until the very end. But at least one thing we do not have to worry about is like this really bad translated shenanigans, right? We have that a lot. Here, since it was written in English, I'm very confident that actually it'll work. The only thing I'm curious, they will not be able to sing like Shaj. They're going to say curse. It's not a good word with a long note, a sound. So hopefully that's not going to happen. But relax. I know we all love the Albanian language, myself included, but they've performed in Albanian now for a few years. It's okay if they do it in English every once in a while. And as said, it was written in English, therefore it makes a little bit more sense to me. Also, a big shout out to Sara with her song Ajër. Ajër. I never know how to pronounce it. But that was not on many people's radar, myself included. Like the song in the studio version, not like a crazy hype at my ranking, but that song came alive when she sang her heart out. And I felt it. I tweeted about it, actually. If you don't follow me on Twitter, do it. Do it now. So, and I said, like, I didn't see that coming. I felt the emotions. I felt the song. And when she was announced as the third placer, she almost broke down. Like, a third place meant so much to her. And that, I hope we'll see her back in the near future at FESTIVALI I KÖNGÖS, because she is a fantastic artist, and I just want to give her a big shout out. And I also want to point out one of my favorites that wasn't in the top 3, to Valon, Shehu. That song was just pure, genuine, like rock that I felt in my bones. It was a great performer, great charisma, great songwriting. Interestingly enough, Eugen Bush-Pepper, who represented Albania a couple of years ago, wrote the song. So I guess I'm not surprised that I like it, but that one was just, it was phenomenal. I love me some good rock. I've seen some meh rock at Eurovision, but this, I can't even say enough of this one. This was potentially my personal favorite in the end, which it was hype in my ranking at the beginning, but live it was like, I'm done. It's just so good. I also want to point out Era Rusi, Eya Mere. So much fun. I once again also said it has all the ingredients for a Eurovision banger. It has the wind machine that is working overtime. We had interpretive dancers doing their thing. We love that at Eurovision. A big voice with a grand chorus, such a diva. Oh, it would have been so much fun. So I'm glad she made it all the way to the grand final, deserving. I loved that song. So I will say FESTIVALI I KÖNGÖS was a success to me because music won, because there were so many good songs. I know not everyone is happy about the results, but that'll always be the case. There is no universally loved song. It's just how it goes. But seriously, I want to say, Arilena Ara, you are fantastic, like a great live performer, and I'm not just saying that to be nice, because I'm not. But the song really, really came, it grew up, it grew in my ranking, it climbed up as well quite a bit, because I felt it. I felt it. And as I said, I'm looking forward to the fixes. As said, make it a little bit more grand, add the strings, add some more instruments, but don't overdo it. Don't make it a different song. Find a good balance. At least that is my suggestion. But what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you like the song? Are you happy that it was Arilena in the end? Or were you rooting for, actually, for Elvana or someone else? Love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below in the comment section. Have a good day, have a good night, have a good whatever.